Hey folks, happy Sunday. It's May 24th, 2020, and let's look at the markets for the week starting May 26th, 25th being the Memorial Day holiday here in US. Let's start by looking at the cycles a little bit. From the timing calendar, we had a major CIT on 22nd, and then 513 is by far the most important CIT of the year, although this is not the perfect low as on March 22nd, 23rd. The intensity for this CIT is one of the highest. It is the highest in the year of 2020. So it was obvious that May 22nd will be a retest, but a higher retest. And I know a lot of the folks on the blogosphere were actually calling for a crash, and they still continue to call for a crash. So I tend to ignore this and just keep looking at the technical signals that I'm getting from the models. That's the only way that I can keep my own sanity for my personal trading. So, so we got a low here on 22nd, and then we have for the upcoming week, we have two CITs. We have 25th and 28th, and then we have kind of based on average of the CITs, we have an upturn on 27th bar. So that'll be 526 after hours. Can be anytime, can be after hours, could be during RTH of 527. That's hard to predict, and I'm working on how to kind of bring it down to an hourly level. At any rate, we should get a gap up by Monday AM, Monday start, and that gap up should not hold, and it'll end up giving up the gains and rebuild. Tuesday could once again see higher high above what we see on Sunday, Monday. In essence, this flat series says that we're going to churn before we take off. This time series perhaps has the best possibility of a trending move higher, and then should be another give back and a recovery on Friday. So that's what I get kind of from the daily cycles. And this is only the only one I share, but I look at several other cycles as well. Otherwise, I'll end up posting 20 charts. So just visually on the S&P chart, may start with a slightly lower low. I mean, slightly with a slight gap down on Sunday, just like last week. We had 8 points gap lower against a predicted of 10. But then at some point we should move higher. And once this high is taken out from last week, the highs from last week, the uptrend is confirmed and we should continue moving higher. Although, like I had mentioned last week, we will still see some chop and the real move might just start on 26th, 27th. So let's remove these and look at the higher time frames. 45, 90, 45, 90, 360. 45 is trending, 90 is declining, but we had our first close above the 90-day cycle and we're pushed above 360. So, but if you look at it, the 45 is still below the 360, and that's not a favorable position. So, but it's still moving higher. So I think the market will manage to continue moving higher but eventually um, it will give back until the 45 also climbs the 360. Okay, so that's just kind of a longer term view. So I think this is what the expectation is. At some point in June, this current wave higher is gonna complete and give back. Okay, so looking at the, let's look at the monthly first. Monthly wick cycle, the system said that we can only sell off on the hourlies as the higher degrees are on buy. And we had looked at this on Thursday night for the Friday post. The midpoint, um, actually the midpoint between the midline and the top line, the bullish line, was 29.45. And what I was suggesting is that staying above this line suggests that market is in a bullish phase. We're not even giving up the mid of the midline. So forget about being at the midline. So what we got was an attempt at the midline, like a final test for maybe bullish or coming up, ending in a bullish resolution. And I think we got 2909, and the midline was at 2903.61, and it's rising. I think we start to trend once the midline is above 2911, which is the May mob. So it might take a couple of more trading days. And this obviously also explains the range, because we really never had the midline above 2911. So in essence, all of this happened after hours, and the monthly chart does not even know there was a correction on the hourlies because we managed to close above it. That's the close. We do have this target opened up. I think we hit it this week. So that's kind of the Uber prediction for the week. And at the same time, just remember the mid of the midline and the midline. Watch those as the pivots for protecting the long side. Okay. Cycles wise, I am not expecting inversion except for potentially towards the end of the week. Okay, we'll handle that later, but it's quite possible that the map into Thursday plays out just as the cycles are showing. I kind of revised my setups strategy for you guys, given that different people have different trading mentality, short, swing, long. I'm adding two best CITs. I'm calling them smart CITs. It's going with the theme of smart predictor. And these will return the maximum possible gains if you get precise polarity hits. Market declines into this, you buy, hold into this, you should be able to trade the entire time series. Same here, and this will yield the most pointage as well. I'll tackle this later, but I think what's gonna happen is something like this. That's where you'll get the inversion, just like last Friday, overnight and recovery. But even then, this could be pretty substantial decline from an intra-week perspective. So for this week, there are two smart CITs. I've listed them here. I haven't calculated the precisely to the minute kind of a thing, but in the end, this is high pointage trade. So a couple of minutes won't matter. And then the rest of it, trying to track each and every turn. I'm calling them the squiggly trades. And the first squiggly of the week is once we, I think, get to Monday AM. By Monday AM, this is like 8 AM. At some point, we should get up to 29.79 plus. And that basically we should look to close out longs, short-term longs, and take short exposure at that point into Tuesday, Wednesday, because this will retrace. The first move higher is going to retrace. The only thing is, since monthly cycle has taken over, you're looking at hourly cycles here from the neural. And when cycles expand, this is cycles expansion. When monthlies take over, the minor degree cycles, um, they basically lose strength, and they follow the tail of higher degree waves. So they can expand, and this can be um, higher than 29.79 if you follow my drift. So I think there's a couple of points to evaluate. One is roughly 1 a.m. on Monday. The second is Monday 8 a.m. to see where we are. Okay. And moving over to the Michan and the monthly Gann pivots. Monthly Gann pivot says for the first time actually the weekly pivot is above first time after April. The weekly pivot is higher than the monthly pivot, which basically means two higher degree waves wanting to trend, and all smaller degree waves are on buy as well. Visually, it's pretty clear here. There's no reason to give up 2915.45. And in fact, to stay bullish during the week, even $2941.24 SPX is important. So, and then finally, Elliott waves wise, same story. Basically targeting all of these targets for this week. They should be hit at some point. And finally, this condition is alleviated with a weekly close above this, a weekly close above this, pointing to $2992.74 SPX. And if that gets exceeded, the market is pointing to 3065.22. How and when it gets there is to be tackled later, but hopefully during the June upswing, we get there to this point. But for now, I think immediately for this week, this is the target. Okay, folks, good luck, and I'll be seeing you on the board.